good. So for my project, I integrated a lot of different technologies, both software and hardware. I'd say the main software I used was Adobe Premiere Pro 2024. I did all of my editing in there, um, and I did all of my voiceover in there as well. I added all the sounds and stuff. I made it directly in Premiere Pro, with the exception to the sound effects with the Foley, which I used Apple voice memos for. So, it was very interesting going over these because, on top of Premiere Pro, I did use a site called Hero Forge to make the characters. I used Photoshop to use the generative AI features and the gradient features to make a sky, which didn't make it into the final cut, but it was an interesting tool to use and see, the Adobe projects really can work together very well. They've got all the different techniques to that makes them easy to work together. So the generative AI feature is interesting. I hadn't planned to keep any of the things it generated. I was just going to use stock images, but I wanted to play around with it because it's such a diverse tool. It's such a unique tool that we're learning how to use, and it wasn't always perfect, but it was pretty good. And then I also used Adobe After Effects to create the upload bar that's in the ending of the rough cut. I had a YouTube tutorial for that as well. Um, I had a lot of different font options. I wasn't sure which one's the best, but I thought this one was both sci-fi and fit the theme. The other software I used a lot was Hero Forge. I used this to create all the different miniatures of the characters. While Theo was the only character who made it into the final cut, I did make minis for all four. Here's the mini I was making for Theo. It was a really interesting process, and I think character building and character creation and character design are a really big part of any story, not just, like visual storytelling such as movies and TV shows. Like, i- what are people going to think when they read about this character, they see this character on the screen? I think it's a very, very important part of the process because there are a lot of subconscious decisions or ideas about this person that we make and we don't know anything about them yet. So that's why I really used Hero Forge quite extensively throughout my project.